The Chiefs and 49ers windows, young, talented quarterbacks, are clearly open. So we thought we'd look at the rest of the playoff teams, plus the Dallas Cowboys. Window opened, partially open, halfway open, or closed. Here we go, Joy.
Okay, well, let's start with the Packers. Is their Super Bowl window open, closed, or halfway open?
Okay, it's open, and the reason it's open, it's the fifth youngest roster in the National Football League. They went from 6 to 13 wins. Aaron had an injury-free season. It should be noted this was the first year in Matt LaFleur's system. Second year in the system. And I also think the division is Kirk Cousins, broken down Matt Stafford, and Mitch Trubisky. Wide open for at least the next half decade.
All right, how about the Titans? Open, closed, or halfway open?
I think it's halfway open, leaning toward closed. Remember, Derrick Henry's a free agent. They'll pay him a lot. Tannehill, they probably have to franchise tag him. This is the fourth oldest roster. This is the fourth oldest roster in the NFL. And let's be honest about it. You got a lot of good young quarterbacks in the AFC. Josh Allen, Watson, Mahomes. They're only getting better. Sam Darnold. Where Tannehill, you got to start drafting a guy. My takeaway is this is kind of a one-off year. I don't think it's closed, though, because I do think the culture that Mike Vrabel creates, they're capable of getting into the playoffs. I think their ceiling's lower.
I agree. Vikings, is their Super Bowl window open, closed, or halfway open?
I think it's closed. I think you have 1 year left with Kirk Cousins, so that is going to hang over the organization. They're going to ask all year long, you got to answer the Kirk Cousins questions. Matt LaFleur now and Aaron Rodgers and a young roster in their second year. So Green Bay's younger, Aaron's better, LaFleur second year in the system. They haven't made the playoffs in Minnesota for the first time since 2009. I think they're going to draft a quarterback, and I think that quarterback thing is going to hang over them in the division. Wouldn't be surprised if Chicago doesn't come back and jump over Minnesota next year.
Seahawks, open, closed, or halfway open?
Absolutely open. Again, Russell Wilson's in his prime. Pete Carroll's a Hall of Fame coach. They have the fourth youngest roster in the National Football League. They get all those running backs who got hurt back. Their offensive linemen come back, and under Russell Wilson, they've never been under 500. So this is still a very young team. Now, the NFC West cannibalizes itself a little bit, but I think going forward, young team, quarterback prime, Hall of Fame coach, and all their young players, to me, are getting better, and Russell and Bobby Wagner are maybe not getting better, but in their prime.
The Ravens, open, closed, halfway open.
Yeah, this is open. I think Lamar's just going to keep getting better. I think John Harbaugh has an extension. I think in this division, I still think they have the best overall roster. Also, Big Ben may come back or maybe not.
Right.
So I think this is top to bottom the best organization. For the record, Lamar has struggled a little in the postseason. Young quarterbacks do. He's 19-3 as a starter. So let's not forget the regular season gets you the contract extension, quarterback coach. They're a great regular season football team. They're just young and learning how to cap it off in the postseason.
How about the Texans? Open, closed, halfway open?
I feel it's closed. First of all, they don't have any first-round picks. Tui, how many years? They don't have a next year, a first round. Okay.
Yeah.
And they have major issues on this football team. Bill O'Brien, in a power grab, now has all the power. I think this is a team, they kind of went all in this year to fix the offensive line, to make it a run this year. They gave up valuable draft picks. And I think organizationally, you can't ask Deshaun Watson to keep saving what's a dysfunctional organization. And I don't think they're any more functional today than they were at the beginning of the season. I think their division now, I think the Colts are going to be better next year. So I think it's closed.
The Philadelphia Eagles, is their Super Bowl window open, closed, or halfway open?
I think it's wide open. I think owner, GM, coach, quarterback, they're great. They had 18 players last year go on the IR. That's just not going to happen
ridiculous.
again.
Yeah.
They have one key component to upgrade, and that is speed at wide receiver. And, Joy, it's the best receiver draft maybe in our lives. So the one thing they need, they got picks and the draft is going to supply them with multiple opportunities to get that. Also, Carson Wentz signed a contract extension. You don't have to worry about all the key leadership areas. You're in really good shape. They are getting a little old on the offensive line. They've got to address that as well in free agency or the draft.
The New Orleans Saints, open, closed, halfway open.
It's halfway open, but Drew's going to be 41.
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater, somebody may make a big offer. He's a free agent on that. Again, I like their roster. I think they've done a really good job to address their defense in the last several drafts. Mickey Loomis is a tremendous eye for personnel. So when you can restock the fridge over and over, it's going to be halfway open. But, boy, they have lost. 3 straight years now, you think they're there, and they just don't quite have the juice at the end of the season. And in some key spots, they're not getting younger.
Yeah. How about the Bills? Super Bowl window, open, closed, or halfway open?
It's halfway open. I think their division's getting better. I think Miami's going to be better, and the Jets are going to be better. And I think the AFC next year is going to have a bunch of new quarterbacks, and it's getting better. They also had an older roster. Now, I love the coaching staff and Josh Allen, but they're going to have to make some decisions. It's a fairly old roster. In fact, let me look. It's the 7th oldest roster in the NFL. So not that they're just built to win now, but this may have been a little bit of a special year, and they have to recalibrate in certain spots. But it's open, but there's some limitations.
Yeah. How about the Patriots?
Halfway open only because of the respect I have for Belichick, Skarnecchia. Now, they get their center back, their kicker back, and the young receivers are in year 2. But this is an old team. They have an older, unathletic quarterback. They're going to have to pay Tom if he stays. And I think they have some real limitations at wide receiver. They have not addressed the tight end position post-Gronk. This is not a great draft for tight ends. So I think they'd have to really spend some money. They'd have to go off-brand and spend some money in places they don't want to spend money. I think it's mostly closed, but out of respect to the staff and the culture, you leave it open a little.
If Brady's not there, is it still halfway open?
No, it's closed.
It's closed. How about the Cowboys? Super Bowl window, open, closed, or halfway open?
It's halfway open. I think they have an upgraded coach. Dak's 26, Zeke's 24. Now, the reason it's halfway open, this offensive line, Goulet, is starting to get old. We're seeing now you can't go a season without injuries. So I think they've got about a year left with this offensive line, and then they're going to have to start drafting it and refurnishing it. Tyron Smith, yeah. And also, you're going to have to pay Dak mid-30s. You're going to lose somebody. Byron Jones, the corner. Amari Cooper, the receiver. I'd like to see – I could live with Byron Jones being gone, but then you have weaknesses in what appears to be the weakness of the team anyway, their secondary. So the coaching upgrade, my stars are young, but you pay Dak, and there may be some limitations. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.